Good evening, folks. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We are bringing you some live Dowling Catholic soccer, another edition tonight against DCG. My name is Ben Teeling, and with me tonight on the booth is Tanner Krause. Really excited to bring this game to you. It's a big matchup for the Maroons. Tanner, good evening to you, sir. How are we doing tonight? We ready for this?
Good evening, Ben, and good evening to our listeners out there. It's a pleasure to have your company. It's overcast, but not unpleasant evening here in West Des Moines, Iowa, and we've got a CIML soccer matchup. And so a bit of an unusual pairing, but two good teams nonetheless. So the Dowling Catholic Maroons, CIML, Class 4A, ranked, have had a tougher stretch, but are hosting the Dallas Center Grimes Mustangs. And DCG is the number 2 team in all of Class 3A. And they've only lost to Adele, who's the number 1 team, and then they've also lost to Johnson and Valley. And so that's a very competitive squad and a very good record here. And so you don't see a lot about this matchup, but we also got the pregame talk from Coach Dowling. Coach Dowling let me know that Dallas Grimes has 3 players going collegiate next season. So that's really some talent here that can elevate to the next level. Ben, talk a little bit about what's transpired. It's been 2 weeks since we've been with our listeners here. Give us a recap of where the Maroons are at in their season and some of the highlights of
Yeah, a lot transpired in 2 weeks, Tanner, and certainly an interesting matchup tonight. We got a 3-18, but after the last game that we had the Maroons jump up to number 1 in the state rankings. Shortly thereafter, last Tuesday, they had a match against Southeast Polk, away to Southeast Polk. They were able to win 5-1. However, you did have an injury to star striker Jonathan Mendez, one of the most talented, one of the best players in the entire state. This is a Division I talent. He's getting recruited. He's a junior. He scored 20-plus goals for us last season, got us into the state semi, sustained a knee injury, a torn ACL to the right knee during that game. Found out Thursday after the MRI, so he's going to miss the rest of the season. He won't be back in action really until October, so huge blow for the Maroons. Even bigger blow, of course, for Mendez, as he's looking to get noticed by college coaches, and this is kind of, prime time for him. So we had that happen.
Yeah, it's a big loss. Jonathan Mendez led Class 4A in state scoring last year. A really highly touted prospect and a better person. And, an honor here tonight. One of the moms went and bought the team all new warm-up shirts with the number 22 on the back. Mendez obviously wore number 22. So a nice tribute to their friend and teammate, Jonathan, who will not be able to be on the pitch, or let me say maybe inside the lines for the rest of the season, but he is in attendance tonight. I've also been told that he had surgery on his knee yesterday. The surgery went very well.
That's good.
And none other than Coach Teeling's wife, Hannah, was the nurse in the operating room. And so a little extra TLC there for Jonathan. Glad to hear that it went well. A great kid and a great talent, and we'll look forward to seeing him bounce back. And so obviously a big loss for the Maroons.
Yeah.
How did that impact some of the results in the subsequent games after that Polk game?
You talk about a big loss for the team, and then immediately thereafter, their next game was Thursday night last week against the other top team in the state throughout the season, Johnston. The Johnston Dragons, away game to Johnston. We lost 1-0. This was the first loss of the season. Maroons, up to that point, undefeated. Up to that point, had only conceded 4 goals, and 3 of which were penalties, so only 1 from open play. Defense has been incredible. That game was close throughout. Johnston scored, sounds like in the last 90 seconds of the game, and it sounds like Dowling was playing extremely well, probably had the run of play. But it's your first game without a player like Mendez, who's your main goal threat, so trying to figure out how to find goals. After that, Saturday, this last weekend, we had a little mid-season showcase out in Iowa City. Played some Eastern Iowa teams, had a lot of college coaches out there. And first matchup, huge matchup on Saturday morning was against Bettendorf. That was the number 3 team in the state. Bettendorf, always tough athletically, have some incredible teams in the past, really good this year. That game went 0-0 in regulation, 0-0 in overtime, into a shootout. Dowling lost that game in a shootout, 3-2. We only converted 2 of our 5 penalty kicks. So, again, struggling to find goals, but still playing really well against top teams, not giving up goals, really. So that's loss number 2. And then they were able to come back, get a win 4-0 later in the day against Iowa City Liberty. Tuesday this week, home game against Indianola, 10-0 win to the Maroons. So they did find some goals.
There it is.
Here. Now it's 14 goals in the last 2 games. And then we've got DCG tonight. So another opportunity maybe to get goals on the board. DCG is tough, as you said. It's number 2 in 3A. So they're going to be a great test for this Maroons team. We're going to see where the goals come from. You were telling me a little bit here, Tanner. We were talking before the game. It sounds like Coach Teeling is going to be setting the team up a little bit differently here without Mendez to try and find some offensive. So we've got, is it Abarca playing up top?
That's right. You're going to see Henry Abarca slide into that forward role. You know, what Mendez brought you was creativity, speed, can beat you off the dribble, and he works really well across the front line, because he had some speed down the sideline. He also had some size in the middle, and so then Abarca plays a little bit more of that like-for-like, not exactly the same player, but provides you with a similar beat you off the dribble and finishing touch. And I will say, in warm-ups today, Henry Abarca's finishing touch certainly came to play as he was able to beat the keeper, I think, every time he shot on warm-up. So we'll see if we can continue that form into regulation, which has just kicked off. So we are underway. The Dowling Catholic Maroons are right. And so far, the game has been under play for about 30 seconds. The Maroons have just settled on their first round of possession, as we've documented all season, and really kind of for the tenure of Coach Teeling's stay here at Dowling, very much a build it up out of the back, play feet, play possession, keep the ball on the ground type of style, and you're seeing that result in actually the first turnover. And so here comes Dallas Center Grimes with a chance to counter. They're into the Maroons territory, and the ball's headed their way.
Yeah, we've seen it all season. Tanner Dowling's been wearing the All Blacks at home. Seems like every team we've played has been in pretty much all white. So, just looks like another game that we've called. Here's Abarca grabbing the ball. Now we got some space crossing midfield. And it's Sartori Fernandez out there starting?
That's Ray Molina making his first start of the night. Yes, Enriquez Fernandez made way in the lineup for Abarca at the forward position, and then Molina came in at the 10 and trying to create some of that underneath space. So then, Molina, a left-footed player, wears the 10, likes to hit the ball with a lot of spin on it, likes to be a very kind of accurate and finesse player, and so he's got the chance to really kind of partner with Abarca, who also enjoys short passing in tight spaces. So here we go. Right now, the Dallas Center Grimes have impressed, and this number 8 here for Dallas Center must have been who Coach Teeling was talking about, because he has shown probably the most skill of anybody so far on the pitch. Tate McDermott, and if memory serves, I believe he's going to play college at Long Island University next season, and he was formerly of the Shattuck Academy in Minnesota. Came back down to Iowa for his senior year. So far, he's lived up to the hype, and looks to be the best player on the pitch. And so Dallas Center has had possession in the Maroons' defensive half for almost the entire of these 2 minutes, and they've hit their second cross across
the 6-yard line here in the last 30 seconds. This one was kind of innocently shoved out for a corner kick. But, again, 2 balls across the 6 shows you that Dallas Center is going to try to combine in the middle and then get their wide players high and get a couple crosses in.
Yeah.
Usually a good recipe for success. We'll see what happens on this corner kick.
What I'm seeing out of Dallas Center is a lot of size. I mean, this is a big team, athletic looking. Look, they're going to want to get crosses in. And the corner's here about to be delivered. Nice ball.
Good ball.
In swinging.
It's a great header on goal. It's cleared off the near post. Ball's bouncing. It's a goal. The Mustangs have scored under 3 minutes into the game. A great corner kick, well placed right inside the 6. And we have celebrated too early. This goal is coming back, ladies and gentlemen, as there was ruled to be a two-handed push inside the 6. There was a scramble for the ball, and the Mustangs knocked it home. The big center back, number 19, one of the larger players that you're talking about, Ben, got at the end of this one and was deemed to have fouled his way home, and a surprising, sudden pop of the balloon for the Mustangs.
Free header on that corner kick. I mean, it looked like a little bit of a misplaced header. He was so wide open, kind of hit it into the ground. It was saved, and then it was a scramble.
Yeah, good play on the near post. Yeah. I don't know who's lined up on it. It might have been Neri on the near post, but had to make a save as the field player because that ball was past the goalie. It was just right at point-blank range.
Yeah.
If anything, you want goalie to come out and be big on that and get a punch.
Yeah,
that's a little close to the goal line to be uncontested by the goalie, with his advantage being having the ability to jump and extend the arms.
Yeah, he can use his hands. He's also the tallest player on the field, and that ball's within 6 yards of the goal. Tanner, Dowling needs to wake up. They look like they're half asleep so far to start this game, which we haven't seen all year out of them. So I don't know if
Ben. I'll say this: watching the pregame warm-up for the Maroons, I know I talked favorably about Abarcas finishing. I thought the Maroons looked a little sloppy in their possession games and their keepaways and their pregame skills. They were trying to be a little cute and a little fancy at low percentage, high flare maneuvers. Their touch wasn't quite as distinct as it was in games past. And so actually not surprised that they've kind of come out here and been on the back foot and, conceded, even though it got called back eventually.
Yeah. Maybe it's, you have 2 games where you get a 4-0 win, a 10-0 win. You've got a Thursday night game at home, and you've got a 2A opponent. Not to say they're overlooking this team in any way, but, maybe a bit of a hangover from the 14 goals they've hung up in the last 2 games. And
they've seen, remember, the opening game of the season, we played Norwalk, who also has the reputation of being a really high-quality 3A team, again, the lower class than Dowling, and the Maroons handled the Warriors of Norwalk. That game was not super competitive, and so you could see after having that type of experience, Dowling could say, oh, yeah, they're good, but they're 3A. We've seen this one before, and then think that they can be a little bit, less dialed in early. And what they've seen is that if they don't get dialed in quickly, Dallas Center grinds with the quality to catch them and score goals.
Absolutely. Yeah, Dallas DCG certainly has plenty of offensive threat.
Great ball from number 8.
Huge switch
what
to
a
McDermott.
Beautiful turn of the field and a 45-yard diagonal to the outside midfielder. That's exactly what you want to see from a center midfielder when the ball is deep in your own corner on a throw-in. Can you switch the play and find open space? That's the soft spot in the zone for the defense. It's going to be the weak side flank, and that's exactly what number 8 did. I continue to be very impressed with his game tonight.
Yeah, he's looked great so far. I mean, you get a player coming out of Shattuck. That's a really quality program. So DCG's got something special there. And, he's not even the top scorer. He's a midfielder, of course, so you don't expect him to be. He's got 9 goals on the season. He's got 6 assists, but they've also got number 9, Ben Jackson. We'll have to look out for him.
Well, unfortunately, we won't tonight unless he's on the sideline because Ben Jackson's struggling with a hamstring issue. And so, but a shot at target for Dowling. Excuse the interruption, but yes, Dallas Center Grimes is without their leading goal scorer as well. This is a player with 13 goals and 10 assists in 13 games. So clearly where they get a lot of their production from, and so we'll see if they can step up. So both teams missing their leading scorers, Jonathan Mendez for the Maroons and Ben Jackson for the Mustangs. We'll see just how that reacts and who can step up.
Yeah, unfortunately for us viewing it, we're missing out on 2 good players, but it kind of evens out. DCG's got another player to look out for along with McDermott offensively, and that would be Cyrus Khashravi. He's a senior, number 11, so we'll keep an eye on him. He's got 10 goals on the season as well. So a bunch of seniors on this team putting up points for the squad. Another number 7, Brogan Fuller's got 7 goals. So pretty well-balanced squad in DCG. They're really just playing even ball with Dowling at the moment, controlling it in possession, and they're not scared to ping it around. I mean, they just passed 3-4 passes between their midfielder and defense, dropped it back to the goalie, but the goalie now just gave it back to Dowling here. So we'll see if we can get on the ball and get something going with possession. Very sloppy thus far, Tanner, a lot of giveaways. The other thing, with all the rain we've had, I can tell with the balls being played, they're all skipping a little bit quicker off this turf. So a little bit trickier.
Another just great diagonal ball from Tate McDermott.
And a one-time ball as well.
First time, hit it with a little bit of backspin, soft bounce, and across from the Mustangs, cleared by Foth. Battle in the corner for the ball here, goes out for a throw-in. It's Mustangs throw-in deep. And what you're seeing is the ability for Tate McDermott, number 8 for the Mustangs, to be able to play into space. Not only is that weak side corner ball always going to be the hardest thing for a defense to defend, Dowling's playing a 3-5-2 as they have all season, and so they don't have natural outside back on the weak side that gives you a little bit more length across the pitch to defend against those balls. So in a 3-5-2 against Dowling, that can be a very dangerous place to attack. And so Mustangs have had a couple different times of success here with that early on, and we'll see if they continue to look that way going forward. There's a foul, first foul of the game against Dowling. A little bit of just frustration. They didn't really have to foul there. Neri is defending the guy right at the halfway line. The attacker has his back to his goal, and so he's not going to beat you. He's not going to go anywhere there. Now they've got a chance here to play this ball into the mixer. I mean, here comes McDermott. Ball is hit deep, back spinning on the 6-yard line. A great ball, and it's headed out to Foth for a goalie. Another very, very, very well-weighted ball. That's a 45-yard service that really kind of dropped on the 6. Foth headed it kind of backwards over his head for a corner kick Mustangs. And so McDermott makes a long run from the right midfield side on the first free kick all the way to the left corner kick. This is going to be a right-footed in-swinging corner from McDermott, and he has one hand in his hair, 2 hands above his head, swings and attempts it at the back post. No one home for the Mustangs, except number 5 on the rebound. Played into the middle, but cleared out nicely by the Maroons. Molina looks to clear. He does. It's intercepted, and ball is kept in play right in front of the Dowling bench, cleared long by the Maroons, and the Mustangs are in possession at their back line, looking to build it back up. There's McDermott again, confident on the ball, playing short. Mustangs playing short on the left-hand side now. A through ball, and a little bit too hard into the goalie's hands.
Yeah, the ball's going to move quick tonight. So that ball, maybe on a normal day, the striker gets on the other end of it. Dowling so far really struggling to find an outlet coming out of the back, coming out of midfield. Just a lot of turnovers, trying to force a lot of balls in between multiple defenders through the lines. They're getting cut out by DCG. DCG looks very, very comfortable at the moment here against the Maroons. And they've also had 2 corner kicks. They've had most of the opportunities. We haven't really gotten close to the goal. We've had that one deflected shot thus far with 10 minutes into the game here. Still a lot of game left. And now Dowling enjoys a little bit of possession here to slow things down.
What you're seeing, Ben, or at least what I'm seeing, is the domino effect of the Mendez injury. Mm-hmm. And so, obviously, it's as a forward, it starts up top. And then Coach Schilling's solution was to slide Abarca into the forward line, and then Molina at the 10. And one thing about Molina is he plays higher than Abarca. Abarca is on paper as the 10 in this 3-5-2. Again, that's the attacking center midfielder position in a 3-5-2, kind of a diamond midfield. And while he is the 10, he comes deep in their possession. And so he gives you one more option. And especially on a small field like Dowling's home surface, it's really important to have someone vertical down the middle to kind of break the seam and to force the defense to stretch out and honor the width. And so what that does is, because Ray Molina plays higher, there's a little bit of a less option for the back line of the Maroons, and they're struggling to continue to break through that first line of defensive press from the Mustangs.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it really is, as you said, them really still getting used to how to operate without a Mendez here early in the game. Starting to get a few more passes together. Beautiful piece of skill there.
Well done,
from Molina.
I mean, 2 players, and with a pullback Cruyff.
It's huge to have Molina back. He's dealt with injuries to start the season. He's dealt with a little bit of suspension problems. And you lose a Mendez, and we haven't really had Molina all year. you lose a very creative attacking player in Mendez, and at least you get something back with Molina. He's different. He's more of a distributor, more of a creator than a finisher. But we're going to really need him to step up and help in this attack. Nice tackle from Mendez, or from
Neri getting stuck in there.
Yeah,
that was a good play. And you're right. As you saw there with Molina, a beautiful bit of skill to beat two defenders, but ultimately his through pass was intercepted by the Mustangs, and so he's still trying to find those seams. The skill isn't really what you lose when you're not getting all your minutes, right? I mean, he's a guy that touches the ball all the time. It's a little bit more of the feel for the game and where your teammates like to be, and some of that familiarity that comes with just having the reps. And so you see Molina's had the skill to create the opportunity, but then just didn't have the right line with his teammate on the ensuing through pass.
And there's a ball, a nice piece of play from the left back, Owen Smiraj, or left center.
Oh, this ball's through. Can Barker get on the end? Oh, it's cleared out nicely by the co-captain for the Mustangs, senior defender, number 15, but I was assuming number 19, but it was a scare there for the Maroons.
Yeah, I was going to say, Owen Smiraj does well to get past the pressure and then really tries to force the ball up to Abarca, who's streaking through with 4 defenders on him. We had 2 guys out wide to the right, and I was going to say, not the best choice. We got to bounce the ball, though, and none of us got us in on goal. So we're deep in their territory. Abarca looking to do some damage here on his own. Dribbles it out of bounds and out of frustration just boots the ball into the fence.
It tells you a little bit of something about the mentality of the Maroons tonight. They conceded within 3 minutes, and the goal was called back.
We got lucky there.
From the booth,
sticky tack.
We all thought it was a goal. The ball's inside the 6-yard line. People are going to be scrapping. It didn't appear to be a foul from the booth, but obviously we're 70 yards away. The ref was 7 yards away, so we trust his judgment. That was a wake-up call for these Maroons. And here's just another kind of who's that ball to? I mean, and then another giveaway here from the Maroons. And so the sharpness is not there as these Maroons are really kind of struggling to hit their same clip that they've been so effective at earlier this season. And so we'll see if they can kind of find their rhythm with a new look formation. We did mention that Enrico Sartori Fernandez is out tonight. He's on Kairos, Ben. So he's having a really lovely experience. You and I both did a Kairos retreat in our days as Maroons and as student athletes here at Dowling Catholic High School. Any comments on your experience at Kairos?
Honestly, one of my favorite memories throughout high school. Just, it's hard to put into words, and it's been a little while, but it's, spiritual experience, of course, and gives you time to reflect and think and, connect with the people there. And so really, really happy for Enrico to be on that. It's nice to even hear that mentioned. I didn't realize he was on that Kairos retreat. So you said the word, and I got excited just to hear it. How about yourself?
Certainly a spiritual and emotional weekend. The opportunity for young adults and young men and women to develop their levels of emotional maturity and to create impactful relationships. And it's a place where you can really be vulnerable. And they do a nice job as a retreat leaders of creating a safe place for that. And it's a very highly rated student athlete experience. It doesn't have to be an athlete; it's a student experience here at Dowling Catholic. Obviously, Enrico Sartori Fernandez starting forward for the Maroons, having that this weekend. Back in action, there's 24 minutes to play in the first half. You're listening to a broadcast where the Dowling Catholic Maroons are hosting the Dallas Center Grimes Mustangs. The score is 0-0, and it's a boys soccer match. We're having fun out here. It's a nice night, overcast. No one's getting sunburned, but also no one's getting rained on. No one's getting snowed on. And so
nobody's shivering out here. We got a nice little 60-degree.
And you know what? The crowd reflects that weather because you mentioned on the walk up, Ben, Dallas Center Grimes showed out well tonight.
Yeah.
And also a meaningful night for the Maroons. They did something really cute beforehand. It's grandparents' night. Here at Dowling Catholic High School. And so all the grandparents listening out there, we love you. You're wonderful people, and thank you for what you do and what you provide for all the young children. I know there's a lot of grandparents that are proud of their Maroon student athletes tonight that are in attendance, and they're happy to be here. So there was some throwbacks on the radio to warm up and to honor and to be a little bit more maybe grandparent-friendly on the playlist. They had that nice touch, and there's some cute signs out there along the walls. And there was a bit of a wave before the kickoff where they acknowledged all grandparents in attendance and the players and staff turned and gave some cheerful recognition to our loved ones and our elders. And so a nice touch here for the Maroons as well. That you just, it's those little fun things that make the game so special.
Incredible. Shout out to all the grandparents. My parents watching my kids right now, so I can be calling this game. So, you can't understate or overstate the impact enough that they have. While we're talking about that, a little offsides call, but we had some passages of play, just an incredible. We talked about Bayani Neri and his sort of, his grit, his determination, and just a couple of crunching tackles he delivered in midfield, sliding, winning the ball back. We're going to need more of that out of him. This is going to be a physical game against DCG.
You mentioned that we are undersized against the Mustangs.
Bayani is the shortest player on the field.
Bayani is the shortest.
Yeah, one of the most challenging,
fearless,
yes,
and willing to get stuck in, and has the leg strength to battle, with much bigger competition. And so we love what he brings to the squad. And right now it's kind of been back and forth. The Bayani had a turnover actually, and the Mustangs looked to hit a big switch, but it was on. Thankfully, the Maroons was on number 12's foot instead of number 8, and so the recreation of that big diagonal ball, it was on. There was a open player on the weak side, but the ball was intercepted nicely by Ethan April, the right center back for the Maroons tonight. Now the ball ball's out for a throw, and we will take a substitution. That's our first change of the game. Number 24, Matthew Hoover, comes in for number 12, Bayani Neri, and so Hoover in for Neri, and instantly John Foth is going forward. I think this is just a set-piece play. It's going to be a long throw-in on the right-hand side for the Maroons. Foth, the biggest player and the best aerial threat, gets a flick. He wins the header. It's inside the box. It's bouncing back to Foth. Foth fakes a shot out to Molina. Can Molina play a cross in? He does. Outswinger. A good ball header. It is bouncing and slowly saved by the Mustangs goalie, but a good little play there. The Maroons took advantage of the set piece in the corner with a long throw-in. Foth, they brought their big center back up. It worked. He wins the header. Yeah. Switch of play. Molina with a cross, and Abarca, playing center forward, gets his head on it for the first shot of the game.
So, that's something that we wouldn't have seen earlier this season. I think that's just an example of some different things coaching staff's trying to do in the training ground to mix it up, get creative on how they can attack.
Well, especially when these narrow fields have the tracks around them, the touchline becomes that much closer to the near post, and it really allows for more players to be threats for a throw-in. On a full-size pitch, you have to have some real torque to get that ball to play like kind of a soft corner. But on these pitches, it's easier, and you saw the ability there for the Maroons to create something out of a set piece, which is another avenue that they're going to have to exploit with the absence of Mendez, because the run-of-play goals are going to be a little bit harder to come by, and so can they create on the set pieces to make up for that loss in production?
Yeah, they're really going to need to.
What a great ball by number 8. Yeah, he's outside of the foot, around his opponent, into the run of the right midfielder. Yeah, I have not seen a player all season that is impressing more than number 8 for any team, Dowling or the opposition that we've called. I think he's the most skilled player that I've seen in our broadcast so far this season.
I just think the way he's, I agree. And here's DCG with a little bit of a threat here, and it's actually Tate McDermott back on the ball. Finds it, misplaces the pass slightly or was cut out. But yeah,
hit his own guy.
Here's an opportunity now for Barker.
Barker's charging on the counter. Looks to play the early through ball, intercepted. He was kind of going into a 2v4. DCG has a bit of a 4-person back line. The Maroons tend to leave 1 or 2 up, and so right there, the early ball was kind of at a 2-on-4 numerical disadvantage, and it was intercepted by the up center back. Oh, a nice Meg and a long shot from the Mustangs. Kid, you earned the right to shoot.
Yeah.
My opinion always is if you're going to beat a guy down the flank with a Meg to get into the box, go for it, kid.
Yeah, for the listeners, that's the piece of skill where you dribble past the defender by dribbling the ball through his legs. So you might say a disrespectful move in a way, but something that
the most embarrassing as a defender is when the ball goes through your legs, and so the attackers know that and they try for it, and it gives them a little more confidence to sometimes take a shot here.
We might have our first booking with a really high kick to the face.
Grudell did get his foot up, and he's whistled for it here. So it's going to be a foul against Ian Grudell.
Too early in the game for a yellow.
It felt like he was making an honest play at the ball, and it looked that his cleats were still down, even if his foot was kind of above his waist. And so the
It's like a high stick in hockey.
Yeah, the ref is going to stop play here and just make sure that it's okay. It was, to the face or the direction of the face. So we're going to thank Bozen the Florist, helping customers say more since 1923. Bozen has the right floral arrangement, plant, or gift to celebrate holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, or any occasion. There are 2 Des Moines area locations or online at bozen.com. We'd also like to thank Fast Signs. Fast Signs is a custom sign and visual solutions company doing a lot of signage out there. Learn more at fastsigns.com. We will also honor Skeffington's Formal Wear. Skeffington's provides tuxedos, suits, and casual groom attire for weddings, proms, and other special occasions. They're online at skeffingtons.com. They have several locations across Des Moines as well. And a great organization here, the Catholic Tuition Organization, offers a tax benefit for their donors and, most importantly, tuition assistance to qualified families who want to send their kids to Catholic schools. So if you're interested in supporting Catholic education, please support ctoiowa.org. That's the Catholic Tuition Organization. Play has resumed here at Dowling Catholic High School. It's Ben Teeling and Tanner Krause in the booth at the 0-0 soccer game for the boys varsity matchup between the Maroons of Dowling Catholic and the Mustangs of Dallas Center Grimes. So we had a couple substitutions which resulted in a bit of a new formation. And so Abarca with beautiful skill. He might have heard me say, "Oh, you think McDermott's more skilled than I am?"
Yeah, Mark is going to have something to say about that. Yeah.
Watch this, says Henry, and I applaud that. That's kind of a competition that makes the best players the best. And what we've seen here is Coach Teeling moved Abarca back into the midfield. We've talked several times about Abarca's position at the center forward here in Mendez's absence and how that disrupted the possession for the Maroons. Now Abarca's been in center midfield for about 2 minutes and has already played his mark on the game more significantly than he had at the forward line, with a nice bit of skill and the ability to calm things down here for the Maroons as they look to reestablish possession, something they'd like to play so well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thought putting him up top. I think it's going to be game by game, but we've seen how this game has developed, and clearly we really need his presence in midfield, at least for the moment, because there's a lot of athleticism in DCG's midfield, which we need to, obviously combat with some of our better players there.
And Dowling has possession here at the midfield line. Yeah. They've had more possession, or a higher percentage of the possession in the last 3 minutes than they had in the first 25 of this game. So this shows you the comfortability that Dowling has when he's in the middle and able to just do a quick release valve for either a center midfielder or a defender. Gradell's trying to charge through the midfield line. Gradell has the ball in possession, places it out to Owen Sprague, left side. Owen looks for options, finds Abarca, underhits his pass to Abarca. It's intercepted by McDermott. Abarca is upset with Owen. McDermott switches the field of play. It's 4-on-4 if Dallas Center can execute a counter, but they can't. Well in from Ethan April on the right side to stop that counter. He was tired of getting picked on with those long balls and finally stepped up and made a nice stick after the ball had gotten to his side of the field. And so well done from Ethan. And now Matthew Hoover on the ball, and Dowling has regained possession. This is now kind of settled in a little bit here. It's 15 to play, so we're 25 in. And then Gradell out left to Luis, back to Gradell. He turns.
Yeah, we're going to need Gradell.
Takes 5 yards to Hoover. Hoover plays it back to Luis, to the left back, near the midfield line. There's no pressure from Dallas Center. They've also backed off their pressure. They are playing very deep. They are going to say, we don't care. You can have the ball at the midfield line. We're not even going to come chase. And now they're just playing kind of ping pong here on the midfield line. They work up the left-hand side. They get into the middle, higher up the field. A turn. 14, a shot. Goal! Josiah, you've done it! You've done it!
Hey, that's stepping up for Mendez after that. That was a beautiful finish. One touch, turn, left side, top of the box, curls it with his right foot around the goalie, hits the side netting. It's a beautiful finish. That's a striker's finish right there out of Crowder.
Beautiful turn and the right-footed curler inside of the far post. A beautiful finish. Josiah Crowder with the goal for the Maroons.
The assist was, we're trying to determine that, but either way, I mean, it was a lovely passage of play. We talked about DCG starting to sit off the ball a little bit, let us enjoy our possession. That was Kevin Kopich with the assist. beautiful little through ball, split two defenders to the outside of his foot. All in all, great build-up play. I think it was Tanner. I think it was probably 9 or 10 passes before that goal was.
It was interesting. It was
back of the net.
It was exactly how you want to attack a team that's going to lay off you at that part of the pitch. Right. Again, for our listeners, Dallas Center guys was sitting deep, and they were not pressuring the defensive line of the Maroons, who are in possession at the half line in acres of space and plenty of time. And the temptation there is you have the time and space to line up a long ball. Oh, I'm going to look for the hero ball over the top, or I'm going to try to play a ball between the back line and the goalkeeper. And that's what the defense wants you to do. What they don't want you to do is dribble, and slowly inch up your attack and then release quickly for a couple passes on the left-hand side, then middle, a turn to Crowder, and a beautiful finish from Josiah. Really impressive. It's 1-0 Maroons, and the Maroons are back on offense here with Grudell trying to slip his through ball back into Kopich, intercepted, and now Dallas Center looks to build out of their own defensive half.
Yeah, we've seen Crowder now getting minutes last season and a lot more this season, and he's had his goals. That's the best finish I've seen him display for this Maroons team. It was a beauty. We'll need more of that from him. It was just well taken, quick turn, very composed, and easily past the goalie, unsavable. Now Dowling really has settled into this game a little bit, Tanner, just in these last 5 to 10 minutes. You know, one of the things they've done all season, Mendez or not, is sustain possession, more possession than the other team. They've been able to pass the ball around and keep it. And I think as they've grown into this game, they've been able to do that and, impose their tempo on the game. And I think DCG, the reason maybe that they've backed off is just because of the way Dowling's been playing, right? They haven't been letting them get the ball as much as they did early in the game. And here we see it again, Dowling now on the ball, stringing 3, 4, 5, 6 passes together, making the simple pass, not forcing anything. It's Molina. He's got all sorts of time and space just inside of midfield. Yeah, on the goal, there were a couple substitutions for the Maroons. And so Coach Teeling-Tinkers was lined up again. It's interesting. I would assume he was calling for the Tinker before he scored his goal, but he executed the changes anyway. So Abarca now seems to be playing the 10. He was playing more of the 8, I think, a second ago. Ray Molina is back into the game, playing a deeper line position than he was to start. He was kind of at the 10 to start. Molina looks to be playing the 8 now. And so Abarca was able to turn and get a shot that goes harmlessly wide of the goal off of the throw and deep in the zone. And so another just kind of variation for Coach Teeling. He tries to find where he's going to be most dangerous with this talented squad that he has. There's 11 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first half of this game. The Dowling Catholic Maroons are winning 1-0 in a boys varsity soccer match live on the radio from Dowling Catholic High School. The ball is coming back into play off of a throw-in, but quickly exited again for the Mustangs. Yeah, nice play from Owen Smarridge there to step up and get that ball out. That's Crowder's 10th goal in the season, Tanner. He's in the double digits now.
He's had a great development year over year. That was not in his bag last year when we watched him. And like you said, Ben, that's the class of a finisher to turn on the top of the 18 and just immediately hit a inside of the foot bender into the back post beyond the keeper's dive. The keeper was in great position, made a great dive, but that ball is outside or at the post right until it's not, and it's inside for a goal. So great finish from Crowder.
Yeah, you're right. The goalie did make a great effort. I mean, Crowder had to put it there to get it past him. And, it's just has a quick look, sees the space, and just, with all that practice, all that finishing training, that's what we saw come out there in that play to get us up 1-0. So we've got 10 minutes left in the half, and, this has been a great game, Tanner. A great matchup. It's been intriguing to see how it's developed. Very, very impressed with DCG and some of the talent and some of their style of play that we've seen. But really in this last 10 minutes now, it's been all Dowling.
And again, Dowling's just settled in. They're in possession currently at their own midfield line, and Dallas Center is not chasing. They are laying off that. They will occasionally apply some pressure. Don't get me wrong. But here's Grudell with a 7-yard touch at the 50-yard line, and having all the time in the world to slowly walk onto a 7-yard touch. And so just a big switching play from Ethan to Luis. Luis hits a long ball diagonal over the top. It's headed out by the Mustangs only as far as the midfield exit. Schumacher on the right side. Grudell looks to play it through. The ball's bouncing into the box. Williams on the backside. And a shot is at goal. It's deflected. The goalie didn't know about it. Molina to the outside of the foot. Molina scores! Molina with an outside of the left foot bender. A beautiful goal from Ray Molina makes it 2-0 with 9:29 on the clock. Congratulations, Ray Molina. You have just scored a highlight of a goal.
Wow. Pull off Molina with that hit. Are you kidding me? I mean, look, he loves to play with the outside of his foot. We see him play those passes. But one-time shot, 20 yards out, curls it high and around. I mean, it dips up and over the goalie. That was great. We had a great line on that, too. That was a thing of beauty. Think about Molina.
His good friend, Jonathan Mendez, a day out of surgery with a huge brace on his leg, almost injured himself. He was celebrating so much on the goal.
Mendez is doing that.
He can't believe it. He's shaking his hand like an Italian, the way he's just saying, how did that go in? He was gasping, his hands over his head, his hands in front of his mouth. Real fun one for Ray Molina. Dowling is up 2-0 on two beautiful shots for the Maroons. One from Josiah Crowder and one from Ray Molina, and a very fun exclamation point to the back half of this first, as it now is 2-0 Maroons over the visiting Mustangs from Dallas Center Grimes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, anytime you get a goal, huge, right? We're up 2-0, and this is a close game, but I think these last two goals the Maroons have scored is really big for this team. They're all having fun out there, still getting over the Mendez injury, finding goals in other ways to get these guys involved. The quality of those goals, I mean, it just gives them a lot of confidence. So you really, really like to see not only the goals being scored, but how they're being scored.
And what's interesting to watch right now, Ben, if you look at the sidelines, the Maroons are wearing all black and going from right to left. The Mustangs are wearing all white going from left to right. The Maroons' entire bench is on their feet. They're talking to each other. There's energy. Coach Schilling is working the sideline. There's three people coming to the half line for a substitution. The Mustangs are all seated. One of them is under a big slouch. The two coaches are on the back of the sideline watching, not saying a lot. The level of sideline energy here is just as big of a contrast as the black and white of these two jerseys, and you can feel it in the audience as the Maroons have doubled their lead to go up 2-0 with 8 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, and even in that last play, we had a foul called against Tate McDermott, and crowd didn't think it was a foul. Starting to get a little bit frustrated there. You had Vianney Neary, who's checked back into the game with another good challenge on him. They're starting to not give him as much time and space on the ball either. That's number 8 for DCG, probably their most dangerous player on the pitch that we've called out a few times.
So calm.
Yeah,
just
great,
right
great
there.
passage of play there,
yeah,
just to keep possession.
A real, just very calm, very patient. In soccer especially, but in most sports, you always want to act second, right? Like the longer that you can wait and see what your opponent does and then take the opposite approach. You see this now on penalty kicks, probably most famously, as the attackers do all that they can to get the goalie just to lean one direction, and then they go the other way because they're the second to react. That has proven to be a big skill, and Tate McDermott has that. But right now, the Maroons have the ball, but a great tackle by number 3, the center midfielder for the Mustangs, to stop a really long and pretty Abarca run. And a nice big ball out there by McDermott to the corner. And now number 10 for Dallas tries to get on the end of it. He won't be able to get there. And Foth wisely uses his body to shield for a goal kick. The Maroons will sub on this goal kick. Numbers 3, 8, and 14 are entering. That is Strange, Josiah Crowder, and Andrew Schumacher into the game. Exiting is number 6, Kevin Kopich, number 20, Mace Mustang, and a player to be named later because it's hard to track where it is. Oh, you know what, actually? There's a freshman that just made his season debut with the varsity team, and he's not on our roster. That's what it was. Number 21, a long shot from McDermott is inches high. That's a 28-yard attempt. You like to think Porter had it covered, but you never know. And that is a good range of distance. You're seeing now 8 say, all right, I've tried about 7 or 8 balls to the corner. I'm going to now just start to shoot myself, even if it's from distance, and he's a threat.
He kissed the top of the crossbar with that shot, and that was a nice hit. I don't know if he has a little bit of dip on that, Porter. That's in the back of the net.
Again, you hit it with backspin. If you can hit that with such a touch of topspin, you get a little bit more of a forward dip. And that's how you can keep those long-range shots on frame. So if you're listening out there and you're looking for pointers on your long-range shooting, you try to hit that ball with topspin on it so it does do a natural dip. Otherwise, that ball's going to be always rising like a kite without a home.
it's tougher when the ball is wet, the surface is wet to get the top spin on it. It's a little bit easier to clip it with the backspin, of course. But yeah, moment of danger there. Now, we got a little interrupted there, but we have a freshman making season debut getting called up from JV. Looking again at an attempt. He's the top scorer for JV. He's fast. So he might have an impact here down the stretch for us.
It is. It's good to get those minutes in until he came back out, but he got a good kind of 15-minute stretch. He was on the field for the second goal, so his plus-minus is at least, good, one to the good. And now the Mustangs are playing out of the back nicely, even though Maroons are chasing pretty tough here in deep into the kind of defensive third of the Mustangs, who just gave the ball away. Number 12 for the Mustangs just gave the ball away. Maroons are looking to attack. The ball is hit a little bit too hard by Hoover. Abarca has to chase it all the way down to the corner. Abarca beats the first defender, gets a cross in, not on the same page with his center midfielder. The ball rolls all the way across the pitch, across the carpet to Schumacher, who looks to just run by his guy, and he was out of position. He tugged the hips a little bit on the way by. Good play by the Mustang defender to get in between player and ball, and Shoemaker tried to get by him with a little bit of extra activity, and the referee to be illegal. That ball's going to come out for the long ball for the Mustangs, and it's skidded backwards by Ethan. So this ball now has traveled 70 yards, 80 yards down the pitch. It's in the Dowling box. It's 3v. This time they do not. They keep both back. They've got a 2-goal advantage. They don't need to work as hard on some of these set pieces. They can keep both stamina for defending, and that ball is 30 yards into the air and harmlessly into the hands of the goalie for the Dallas Center Mustangs, who throws it out to his left midfielder. And a nice tackle there from Neri, who comes up and celebrates like the Incredible Hulk after getting stuck in. The Mustang guy got a touch on the ball, and then Neri just kind of cleaned house a little bit. It's out for a throw in. Mustangs, everybody's okay. Don't worry about that part. So Biani was showing some emotion.
Biani Gattuso Neri out here. Just crunching tackles, just flying all over the place. There's been a lot of good challenges in this game on both sides of it. So it's been fun to watch on the physical aspect as well here in the ball game. And Dowling defensively looking really, really solid since, besides save for that long shot, save for that first disallowed goal, really tighten things up here.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, Dallas Center Grimes scored 3 minutes into the game on a scramble after a corner kick, and the referee ruled that the goal scorer used a little bit too much excessive force to get onto the ball and to knock it home. Not something that we saw from the booth, but ultimately he had the better view, and he called it back. So that's going to be still a 0 on the scoreboard for the Mustangs as they're sitting in extremely deep as they have these last 15 minutes. It was not the case for the Mustangs early on in this game, but so far the last 15 minutes they have been very, very deep. That's a long cross in towards goal that was caught harmlessly by the Mustangs goalie again. So, again, when you play deep like that, the temptation is to say, okay, well, maybe I'll try a long ball. I've got the space to get it off. And that one went straight into the Mustangs' hands, so it can advantage Dallas Center. As then now they have the ball in their playmakers' feet. McDermott beats a guy in the middle, beats a second guy in the middle, beats a third guy in the middle, and passes out to the left mid, who's under pressure. Beats a guy
out there.
He attacking, cutting inside, right foot, cuts inside, looks to dribble one on the reverse pass, and bounces back to him, and he shoots, but ultimately didn't make good contact.
I don't know if he tried to cut that as a pass, maybe?
We're not quite sure what it was. It's now a goal kick. And so the Maroons will avoid a scare and play about 6 yards to Ian Gradell inside the 18. The defensive players can touch the ball before it leaves their own 18-yard line. And we've got about 30 seconds left in this half as we've had a fun one as Neri battles, plays it back to Foth. I think the Maroons are certainly content with the result going into halftime here. Looking just to kind of keep it this way. Again, Dallas Center is not chasing at all, no matter where they are on the pitch. And so they've got one forward, kind of putting in a bit of a shift up top. But ultimately, the Maroons are just kind of swinging it back and forth. 8 seconds left, 7 seconds. Long ball to Abarca, middle of the park. through ball to nobody as this clock will strike zeros. And it's a fun first half. We've got a lot to recap and maybe even a halftime special appearance guest, so please stay tuned. But right now we'll take a quick commercial break. You are listening to Dowling Catholic Athletics on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formalwear, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formalwear, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Fast Signs is a custom sign and visual solutions company with an extensive in Clive for your support of Iowa Catholic. Radio.
Support for programming comes from Klein Electric, a local family-oriented electrical owned company with branches across the Midwest to provide comprehensive electrical services. Klein Electric is able to help with any residential and commercial project. Learn more at kleinelectric.com.
Support for programming funded by Blessman International. We bring the good news of the gospel to South African children and their families through faith formation and locally sustainable programs. As the Fellowship of Christian Athletes location for all South Africa, our Sports for Christ complex provides student access to friendly competition where discipline and dedication are developed. Learn how you can support programs like Sports for Christ or experience the hands-on engagement of a mission trip at blessmaninternational.org.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from the Catholic Tuition Organization. Reduce or eliminate your Iowa income tax and instead give to the Catholic Tuition Organization and receive 75% Iowa tax credits. These tax credits are going fast, so reserve yours today and learn more about the Catholic Tuition Organization at ctoiowa.org. ctoiowa.org. The bottom line, it's for the kids and their futures.
Catholic Tuition Organization, a great investment in our kids. Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Mercy One. We all want to live our best life. That's why Mercy One offers compassionate, personalized care when and where you need it. Schedule online at mercyone.org.
KWKY Des Moines, K233BT Des Moines, KIHS Adel.
Welcome back, listeners. We are live at the halftime show here at the Dowling Catholic Maroons boys soccer game. We got a matchup against DCG Mustangs tonight. It's halftime. Maroons are up 2-0. We'll give you a recap on the half. We are joined by a couple of special guests in the booth tonight. Two of the team managers, Christian Estrada and Fabian Leone.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you tonight?
Feeling great, Clouds, the sun's not out, but, it feels good to be outside,
Absolutely.
So. Yeah.
Nice calm spring day. We'll take it. Could have been a lot worse given the last couple of nights that we've had some of these storms. Christian, tell us about what you do as a team manager.
Just what a manager does, be there for the team, get the waters ready for them, practice, bond and enjoy the company of the team.
So
That's what we do.
Absolutely. How many years now as a team manager you've been with the team?
Second time.
Okay.
But the thing is, if I can tell a little bit about the first time, my friends were telling me, yo, we'd love to have you on the team for managing. I'm like, what do I do? Just show up to practice. So I didn't even try out for anything. I just walked up, shook coach's hand. I'm like, what's good? And so
we love it. And what does it mean to you to be part of the team?
It means a lot because, I know everybody says, being on part of the team is like family. But here for Maroons, it's really family. There was the other day, we were at team dinner and just the stuff we do with the boys, just play around, joke around, eat, pray before, it just feels like family.
Absolutely, yeah. We always are seeing the end product on the field. We don't get to see the behind the scenes, the practice, everything that goes into it. You guys are just as much part of the team as the players, and we hear that from the managers. A lot of the culture of the team and the familial aspect is fostered by you guys as well.
Oh yeah, no, we just try to grow as not individually, but as one, Yeah. Iron sharpens iron, and, I learned some stuff from them and vice versa.
Absolutely.
Respect. Christian, are you graduating this year?
Yes, sir.
What are your plans after Dowling Catholic?
So I was going to go to college, but now I'm thinking of trade here. So I'm going to go for trade school, HVAC, and then do a year or two, and then go to Iowa State and study poetry.
Good for you. Good for you. a poet in the booth.
Yeah, hey, come see me. I got some problems with my AC too.
Hey, no. First thing I'm coming to Dowling, I'll tell you that.
All right. Could you write us some scripts? We could use some better written talking points. I don't know that we've got a poet between us. So your skills have been appreciated so far this season, and they'll continue to be appreciated if you can both help us with our AC and also make it sound a little bit more linguistic here on the microphone. So thanks, Christian. We'll be back in. Welcome Fabian to the bike.
This is Fabian. This is my dog right here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that introduction, Christian.
Fabian, how you doing tonight? What do you think of the game so far?
I'm doing amazing. I'm really impressed with how we did towards the end, kind of the second half of the first half. The first couple minutes were a little sloppy, a little slow, but we picked up, especially after that first amazing goal by Josiah. What a finish. And then Raymond topping it off, which if you see the replay, I put my hands on top of my head because both those finishes left me speechless.
Absolutely. The first one was only outdone by the second one in some ways. Now, interesting perspective, Fabian, from your end. A player, a starter on this team for multiple years, as recent as last year, now on the team management side, you've seen a lot of these players come up. Now we have guys that have been starting since freshman, sophomore, as junior, senior. So what does this season mean to you? Your senior year as well, yeah?
Yeah. For me, it's just seeing the team continue to succeed and just seeing, how they've progressed so far and, them taking it on without me. And even as a manager, I still feel like I'm a part of the team and I'm still there for them. They still treat me as a player and I'm still very close with them and I'm very grateful for that. It's been a great season so far and I'm really enjoying it.
It sure has been. And you're both wearing matching T-shirts. Say a little bit more about what you got on here today.
Yeah, so these are custom tees for our fellow teammate Jonathan, who tore his ACL. So they got the 22 on the back, and just a little bit of some support for him.
That's incredible. That just speaks to how tight the whole team is, right? And how much of like you said, it's not individuals, it's one. So senior year plans for after high school?
So I'm going to be attending University of Iowa.
All right.
For business. I'm not sure what specifically yet, but for sure some type of business.
Well, go Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
We love that. Excellent choice. And we wish you all the success, both of you, in your future careers.
Thank you.
And we've got a lot of season left.
Oh, yeah.
And so hopefully we will see you down at County for the state tournament and maybe in this thing lifting the trophy. So we'll look to see you out there.
Yeah. Thanks for everything you guys do.
Thanks for all you do on and off the pitch for the Maroons and the program. Thanks, y'all.
And for coming up. Yep, good to see you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Take care. Ben and I back in the booth. We're going to do a quick recap of action after this quick commercial break. You're listening to Dowling Catholic Soccer on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Bozen the Florist. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, weddings, whatever the message, say more with Bozen. Bozen.com. 515-244-ROSE. Bozen makes the moment mean more.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and urgent eye issues. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Westgate Dental, offering cosmetic, family, implant, and general dentistry. Located at 1073rd Street, Suite 1 in West Des Moines, just behind Dowling Catholic High School. Learn more at westgatedentalia.com.
Brightside Aesthetics by Ducharme Dermatology provides advanced and medical aesthetics, body contouring, wellness, and spa services. Learn more at brightsideiowa.com. Thank you, Brightside Aesthetics, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for programming is provided by Construction Professionals, serving customers through a proven process, creating unique design, functionality, and artistic beauty. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. cpcustomhomes.com.
We're back again, listeners, here at the halftime show, the second part of the halftime show. Second half play almost underway. You're joining us live, Dowling Catholic boys taking on the DCG Mustangs in a soccer matchup here. And we have another guest in the booth tonight, one of the fans here enjoying the game tonight. A lot of fans out, really good crowd. And we're joined by
Please
Michael.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, please.
Hey, gentlemen. Thanks so much. Long time, our first time attendant. It's been an absolute pleasure. The door to the booth was just open, so I just kind of walked in. Security's been a little light, but it's been an absolute pleasure so far. Nobody's kicked me out. It's been great. I said when I moved here 4 years ago, my allegiances were completely for sale, and I'm 20 minutes into my first Dowling Catholic game. I'm in the booth, so buy me a T-shirt on the way out. Let's go Maroons here.
We love to hear that. And you are a bit of a high school athlete yourself, I believe. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like to be a high school student athlete?
Yeah, absolutely. I watched all 6 seasons of Friday Night Lights, so I'm right there along with it. It's been an absolute
special.
Yeah. You really feel like you're part of the team. The early stuff was great. Tanner, I was listening to the radio show on the way in. I got to say, you were right. I caught the end of the first half here. The energy was amazing. Maroons bench standing up, involved, engaged. It was all going on. It's all about energy. It's all about that, the extra man on the side. And it's really cool to see the whole team get engaged here and listen to some of the fellas in the halftime report. It was, it's pretty special. They got a really great program going on here, and it looks like the boys are ready to take the pitch again. So I'll throw it back to you here shortly.
Well, thanks, Michael. We appreciate your support of Dowling Catholic High School and these student athletes. It is Grandparents' Night. Do you want to give any shout-out to any grandparents in your life?
I've had some special grandparents in my life. All 4 of them came over the boat from Italy. Pretty special. Taught me, a lot about family, a lot about cooking, all that good stuff. Grandparents are very special people. Shout out to all the grandparents out there listening. Really amazing, role you play in young people's lives. So thank you very much. Let's go Maroons.
That's sweet. Thank you so much. Thanks, Michael. I really enjoy the second half, and we'll be cheering you on. Both teams have taken the pitch. The Maroons are in their huddle, and the Mustangs are in their formation. They came out of half early. Dallas Center was first to the pitch by about 2 minutes, so they are ready to go. As you remember, that the first half, Dallas Center Grimes got off to a much better start off of the opening whistle than the Maroons. They had a goal called back within 3 minutes of action, and it took the Maroons several substitutional and formational changes to really kind of get back control of that game, which they did, scoring with 20 minutes and 10 minutes left to make it 2-0 at halftime. The whistle has blown. The second half is underway. The Maroons play it back to Ray Molina, who plays it short to Ian Gradell, and the Maroons have a 5-on-1 physical advantage here inside their own kind of bottom half of the center circle as they look to play possession. They try to take it forward, and it's intercepted, and so the Maroons look to win it back. But it is now underway in the second half, and the Maroons are wearing all black from head to toe, and the Mustangs are wearing all white. The Maroons are now going from left to right on your radio. The Mustangs going from right to left, so we'll see if the Maroons can extend this lead or if the Mustangs might be able to claw one back and give us a bit of a nail-biter down the stretch. So excited to see what the second half holds.
Very excited. Time will tell on that point. So far, as we start the half, we're a minute in, and things are picking up where they left off with the Mustangs in a deep block, allowing the Maroons to have possession well into their half. And we have an offsides call here, so the Dallas Center Grimes is going to get the ball back and then be able to reset. And now we've got the lights on. It's getting dark out there, so we got the players under the lights here.
It's really a pretty night. It's been rainy this morning, and so the field is a little damp. You talked about that and what that does to the game and how you can connect with the ball. It's been cloudy, but it's got this kind of beautiful kind of gray, bluish sky. The lights are shining. The weather is temperate and mild. The players are all in short sleeves. The parents and grandparents in attendance tonight are all just wearing a light jacket. It's a lovely night for varsity high school sports, and you're seeing a good game here. Again, right now on the ball is Tate McDermott for the Mustangs. He's going to Long Island University. If I'm not mistaken, our guest in the booth, Michael Miano, is from Long Island, and so maybe he'll be able to get to see him play next year. But really kind of been a treat to watch Tate McDermott and what he's brought. Any comments on his first half performance, Ben?
He's got class, right? He's a class player on the ball, very composed, extremely technical. Also has good size, physicality, so he's tough to win the ball back from. But I was really impressed with McDermott. He's a box-to-box midfielder, right? So he's getting deep, he's getting up the field, he's getting the ball from midfielders. His ability to pick out a pass and the way he could play it with the inside, with the outside of his foot, he pings some beautiful balls around all over the field. He took a nice deep shot. He's really the heartbeat of that team. He's the fire in the engine room of that midfield. So very impressed with Tate McDermott.
And I'm going to throw a comp at you, Ben. This is for our more veteran listeners. It reminds me of Seth Motorson.
Any longtime Menace fans out there will remember Seth Motorson.
And a Roosevelt High School alum who had a tremendous high school career. That Roosevelt team in the 90s were absolutely stacked, produced a lot of Division I, Division II, Division III talent out of there. And he's got a similar build. He's kind of got this floppy blonde hair, likes to dribble, but also likes to just turn and hit a good 45-yard diagonal pinger. And so really a tough comp for me. Seth is just a legend in the game of soccer for Iowa. And so we'll
Not only
see
that,
here.
but a coach to us as well.
He did coach me in my day. And now the free kick for the Maroons on the sideline. It's a hard-hit ball straight out of the near post, but a good ball in by Foth there. The only problem is with Foth taking that ball is you lose your – no, sorry, excuse me, that's not Foth. Excuse me, it looks like him and his left-footed ball, but no, Foth was in the middle. Excuse me there.
It's really tough to tell who's all the way out on the
we
far
are
side.
a distance from the far side, and with these dark jerseys, the numbers do not contrast quite so easily for us in the booth. Either that or we're getting old. One of the two, Ben.
Yeah, a little bit of combination of both. And Dowling here, but we got a little bit of a stoppage of play.
Yeah, kind of a late whistle. They ruled Abarca was kicked. Abarca does well to do a quick restart to Ian Gradell, and Ian Gradell
shooting on sight.
Fired it like a rocket, and not in the way of the speed, but more in the trajectory of something that was going to the moon, as that ball was never tempting the goalie's fate, and ultimately a innocent goal kick for the Mustangs coming out. And the ball has progressed up the sideline. It's out at half field for a Maroons throw in at half field on the far side. That's going to be Luis Cedeno there throwing into John Foth. Foth crosses the midfield line with a big, long touch. Got plenty of time. He does draw the Mustangs out, able to kind of quick do a combination play to pass the line, but then they just go back to the defensive side. So then now Foth, again, all the time in the world. He's now into the circle on the attacking half. Hoover tries a long diagonal, and that ball was poorly hit by Hoover. The ball is now coming out for the Mustangs, who look to switch the field. It's back in McDermott's hand. It's a 4-on-3 attack for the Mustangs. McDermott's got the ball. Second runner is coming. McDermott looking for options. McDermott looks to dribble somebody through, and it really wasn't an option there. McDermott,
I think he holds on to the ball maybe a little bit too long.
It was. He didn't have a good, quite great, obvious ball, so he just kept waiting for something to develop. And if you remember, both teams missing their leading goal scorer. The Dallas Center Grimes, well, for all that we talked about Tate McDermott, they're missing their number 9, who's got 13 goals and 10 assists on the season. By far, their leading point getter is no longer in attendance. And so he is his typical attacking partner and not available tonight. And on the Maroon side, of course, as you heard at the halftime show, Jonathan Mendez with an ACL injury 2 weeks ago, surgery last night. He's recovering nicely from that. So not the same finesse or maybe precision in the final third for either team tonight, as you're just seeing some unfamiliarity with people playing out of position.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, both teams will feel the effect of losing those scores, and especially the Maroons. I can't speak to DCG and their player who is out and how much impact it's had over the last few years. But Mendez has been the leading goal scorer for this team, not just this year, but last year and even part of the year before.
Led the entire state last year.
I mean,
as a sophomore.
And without Mendez last year.
Forget about it.
Forget about it, absolutely. And forget about getting to the state semifinals last year.
Without Mendez.
Scoring 2 late goals to overcome a 1-0 deficit.
Put the team on his back.
He did. And not to say it wasn't a team effort, but he's the one that, finished the job there. But Dowling is finding ways to score. They're not letting goals in. We can say that. In the 4 games, now 5th game without Mendez, they've conceded all of 1 goal in all those minutes played. And that was right at the very end of the game against Johnson, who's
former number 1 seed,
state champion last year, one of the best teams in the state.
Yeah, that says something. And, credit to Coach Garrett Krall, who's done some really nice things with his defensive unit. Garrett, great combination on the left-hand side for the Maroons. We're into the box, left-hand flank. It's a big cross in. Abarca's header falls just by Henry Abarca's forehead, but really good combination. One-touch play on the sideline to get into the box and swing across in. So that's nice. You love that kind of patience there from the Maroons. They're going to have time on the ball, but can you attack quickly when you choose to attack? It's okay to play slow and methodical, but when you try to break down a defense, it has to be quick. Otherwise, it's too predictable. And Dowling's really first goal was that way, in which it was slow, and then it was kind of a ping, pang, boom to Josiah Crowder, who did a lovely job of turning and finishing with a curl at the far post.
Yeah, ping, pang, boom with a boom into the back of the goal. I mean, one of the best finishes we've seen all season. We've seen a lot of great goals out of this Dowling team all year. And to recap again, the second goal from Raymond Molina.
Oh, that's a poor giveaway by April. This is a 2-on-2 break. Dallas Center is charging. They're through on Hoover. Can he get on the end of it? Hoover does not get on the end of it. It is just in time. Hudson Porter with a beautiful play. He was outside of his 18 and had to make a foot tackle on the best player on the field tonight. And the ball goes out for a throw-in by Porter, but a tough giveaway by Ethan April at right center back, and that just handed a 2v2 breakaway for the Mustangs. A real exciting stretch there for the Mustangs, and their crowd is off of its feet as they're looking to capitalize on this momentum here. The ball is out for a throw-in deep in the corner. Can the Mustangs get any closer than the sideline here, Ben? But that was close enough for the Maroons in the back.
Yeah, that was an interesting giveaway to see there. He might have just seen something out of the corner of his eye. Ethan literally passed the ball right to the Dallas Center Grimes midfielder who was high up the pitch. Great play from the defense to kind of get back there. And Hudson Porter, very aware, comes off the line quickly and is able to cut that pass out. Otherwise,
really well read by Porter.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a one-on-one situation without him getting off his line quick. And
you like McDermott's chances on really any keeper in the country. Yeah. And so that was...
You're probably seeing him chip the goalie there, dribble around at that point, based on what we've seen. So, yeah, great play. Great play from Porter after the giveaway.
Really his biggest challenge of the night there, not even technically a save in the stat book, but a good play with his foot to break it down. That was just well read. And so now Dallas Center is counterattacking again with the ball was just overhit there by McDermott, and it goes out for a throw-in. And so we've got kind of a deep throw-in. And if I'm Dowling, I'm slowing the game down here for a second. Dallas Center has shown some life. They've shown some threat. And this is the chance where, the ball goes out for a throw and you kind of walk towards it. You take the sting out of this game a little bit. You look to kind of build it back and reestablish yourself in possession in the attacking half. We'll see if they can execute that plan.
I think they can. I mean, they've been able to throughout the game. And what you're seeing from Dallas Center Grimes is they're going to have their bursts and their moments in attack, I think. But so far it's been few and far in between. So if Dowling is able to handle those moments, we're going to see more. They're certainly going to pose more threat. And look, if they get the next goal and make this 2-1, things get really interesting. So Dowling needs to make sure they either don't concede or get that next goal. But, when the half started, the first 5 minutes, I was going to say, wow, it's starting to look really, really comfortable. As soon as I was about to say that, DCG kind of wakes up and gets a few, potential opportunities. And behind our defense, they had that breakaway that almost resulted in a goal. If it wasn't for Porter getting in the middle of it. So certainly with 30 minutes left, the focus out of the Maroons needs to really remain that this game is far from over. DCG's not going away. I would like to see maybe a little bit more pressure from the Mustangs here, being down 2-0.
You do want to chase the game a little bit, and I do want to highlight a substitution that just happened here. So Biani Neri entered the game for Matthew Hoover. I like that change from Coach Teeling. We talked about how when that ball was out for a throw-in, can the players take a sting out of it a little bit? Can they kind of slow things down and try to win back the energy? Substitutions are a great way to affect that change. And so Teeling with a well-timed substitution, bringing in one of his energy guys, bringing in one of his disruptors in Neri. And so good substitution from Coach Teeling. Neri's on the ball right now, but dispossessed by the Dallas center midfielder who's charging. He's running against the numerical advantage, but he's into the 18 and hits a long shot across the goal. And that ball was spinning wide with a left-footed shot, but that kid just did it all himself. He took it off of Neri, really at the bottom of his own center circle, and then ran diagonally left into the 18-yard line and got a shot that kind of scared us for a second.
From our angle, I mean, it was a good hit. It was low and away.
It had pace.
Low and away with pace on his left foot. The only problem is he had it curling away, and so it was always going away from that back post. That was a really nice play from that midfielder. A lot of speed he shows to just dribble past everybody, really.
Just really went down. Another that kind of outran Neri, who was in pursuit after the giveaway. And then on the right-hand side is Ethan April. Oh, and a cheeky little pass there by Abarca. Tried to find Crowder's feet on a little kind of give and go inside the 18. One of those almost reverse passes that Abarca liked so much.
That's classic Abarca, right? Looking for that pass and wasn't quite on. He didn't have too many other options, so I like the effort. Maybe could have gotten a shot off, but he was getting closed down quickly. And Crowder, with a nice play, just challenged that center defender with the long ball over the top. He was able to win the ball back, lay it off to Abarca, create something. Now Dowling here back in possession. Ball is around the 50-yard line, halfway up the field. And we still have possession inside of the half. Now we got a little bit of a scramble. It looks like the Mustangs are going to come away with this ball here in possession. But great pressure from Dowling, and they're able to turn him over. Molina, nice little sidestep, cut, little drop-off pass to Neary. Schumacher cutting inside from the right. It's a foul.
It is a foul, and it's whistled. It's in the dead center of the field. If this was a field goal, it would be a 35. It's from the 35-yard line, so it would be a 45-yard field goal. And it's dead center on, and so these are a little bit tough. They present a challenge for the attacking side because you don't really have the angle. There's not much space to drop it behind the defensive line, and the Mustangs are playing very deep. They're holding what looks like the 8-yard line, something of that nature. And so,
I mean, if I'm Molina, maybe just hit something hard on target. Maybe it skips. Maybe somebody gets a deflection.
And he does, and it bounces on the 6, and it's cleared a backspin out for a corner kick. Ben, you called that one nicely. Molina just kind of smacked it in the area, and it forced an awkward clearance out for a corner kick. That's going to be on the right-hand side. Abarca runs the ball. He's got a half check, too, from Molina. He turns his friend down for the short option, and Abarca hits a back-spinning corner way over everybody's head. In chases Crowder. Crowder keeps it in. Corner of the 18. It's battling down there. Both teams going for it, and it's cleared out poorly by the Mustangs. Back into the box, and just past the far post with a left-footed attempt by Owens Marriage. And the Mustangs will have a substitution here, but a dangerous couple of chances there for the Maroons, at least half chance.
Yeah, I like to see those long shots because if you don't get something on target, nothing's going to happen, right? So force the issue, stay aggressive. Again, it's been raining all day yesterday, still kind of wet out there. This ball is going to take some weird bounces. It's going to take some really quick hops, hard bounces off the surface. So if you just get something on target in front of that goalie, something's going to happen. And that's what the Maroons have been doing here these last few minutes. Good dribbling by Smarridge, coming up the back from the left side.
Well, that's Luis Cedeno there.
Apologies to Marquez there. Luis Cedeno Marquez, the transfer this year, right into the starting lineup for this defense. Has been a big part of how well the defense has played this year. Now it's and speaking of that, you have John Foth, who's the heartbeat of the defense, initiating the attack here. Now we've got the ball spread out wide to the creative Molina all the way on the right side touch line, dancing with the ball, dribbling with the ball, gets dispossessed, and then immediately fouls that defender. Well, if you're going to lose the ball, I guess, don't let him dribble back around you.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration. Molina loves to take players on, very talented off of the dribble, was unsuccessful in that attempt, and here's a big switch, a beautiful ball by McDermott. Porter's out. It's a shot on goal. It is in for the Mustangs. And Tate McDermott has played one of his famous 60-yard diagonals. That ball was perfectly weighted over the head of the left back of the Maroons, but far enough out that Porter could not get there in time. The speed of number 10 for the Mustangs gets on the end of this ball, touches it by Porter, had some work to do. He shot the corner of the 18 with both charging back, trying to get a clearance on the shot, and it is 2-1. The Maroons have their lead cut in half, 24-14 to play. Ball game, folks. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Dowling Catholic Maroons 2, the DCG Mustangs 1. Boys varsity soccer, a lot of fun here, and this game just got very interesting as one of those many well-weighted long balls from Tate McDermott finally finds the back of the net for the Maroons, who are immediately looking to charge back and have picked up a throw-in on the right-hand side down here in the corner.
So substitute Wesley Kabamba, a lot of speed, number 10, was on the end of that. And, again, Tate McDermott, as you mentioned, finds those diagonals, can really hit a ball and pick out somebody from anywhere.
Ball's bouncing inside the 6.
Okay.
The goalie of the Mustangs get it. That ball bounced twice inside the 6 over two people's heads, oddly, and the goalie kind of gobbled up at the back post, but that was a very dangerous chance that somebody could get a flick on that ball.
How often this year have we seen anybody really get in behind the Dowling defense with that kind of opportunity? It's pretty rare, right? So
it takes a really well-weighted ball.
It does.
Because of Porter's comfortability coming off of his line and how well Foth reads the game. And I talked to Coach Dowling before the game, and he likes this three-back system a bit because it allows Foth to almost play a little bit deeper as that sweeper of sorts with the back line. And so he does so well on those long balls his ability to read the game and pick something out of the air, also very good and talented in the air as well. So a well-weighted ball, and like you mentioned, a lot of speed from the sub, number 10, and a strong finish, too. So hats off to the Mustangs to capitalize. You can't say they've not deserved, given the skill that they've shown tonight. And, we'll see how their next 22 minutes go.
Yeah, I think they've deserved a goal based on their performance thus far. This is a really fun game, Tanner, and we talked about it about 10 minutes ago. Dowling was looking pretty comfortable. We know there's a threat from DCG. If they get the next goal, things get really interesting. That's exactly what has happened here. Nice ball from Molina. Abarca with the turn. Does he shoot? Tries to thread one through. We got the ball on top of the DCG's box. Potential. Still have the ball. Recycling it back around. Biani Neary with a nice ball all the way across the pitch over to Luis Marquez, to Daniel Marquez, rather. And now we reset. So now 2-1. Next goal is important for Dowling to continue the pressure. I don't think we need to get tight or loose. We just need to continue to attack here, which we are doing. We just got to watch out for that number 8 and what he's able to do. And here he is again on the ball. Dribbles around a player. Nutmegs are right back. Keeps possession. Really impressive here.
Yeah, the best player I've seen so far this season. Just really kind of a standout talent. His skill, his composure on the ball, the weight of his passes, his reading of the game, quite skilled. But here, Dowling has a cross. The ball is at goal and hits off of the football upright, so it'll be out for a goal kick. There'll be a substitution here for the Maroons. Number 2, Dominic Lozano enters the game for number 8, Andrew Schumacher. So fresh legs in the right wing for Coach Teeling, as Lozano, I believe, gets his first minutes of the night. And there'll be a goal kick coming out for the Maroons. And then one thing that I'd like to see happen a little more often is I'd like for Abarca to look to shoot more often.
Yes.
He's finding the opportunity to shoot from, admittedly, from distance, 22 yards, kind of just outside the 18 in that range. Couple things there. One, you can't score if you don't shoot. And so you've got to sometimes kind of force the issue. 2, the Dallas Center goalie is short as far as goalies go. He's doesn't appear to be a super big kid. And so sometimes at this high school level, you to catch him off guard, he's flat-footed, you put some pace on it. It can be hard for these shorter goalies to get to all parts of the net, and then you never know what a rebound might do for you.
Yeah, I did notice that as well. I mean, one of the reasons I like these shots from Beef is, as far as I can see, he might be the shortest player on their entire team, and he's the goalie.
And the Mustangs are tall. I'll give them that. They are much bigger, kind of at least in height, than the Maroons are. The Maroons have more of a crafty, shorter, skilled player profile, not exactly universally, but generally speaking, whereas the Mustangs have a combination of both size and skill, and that's one of the reasons why they're the number 2 team in Class 3A. Yeah, it's a great, the game is in the balance for sure now. We just ticked under 20 minutes, 2-1 ball game. Dowling's got the lead over the Dallas Center. Oh, ball's coming up our way. A ball bounced through
up here and move.
Yeah, how's your touch feeling?
You open that window up next time. A little one-touch back onto the field. The crowd handles that nicely, gets the ball right back over to the ball boy.
You would have had that, Ben. I believe in you.
Yeah, you'd like to think. Haven't really been able to warm up tonight, but I think we handled that. Nice skill from Abarca. Nice ball.
Really well played by Abarca. And so I can't quite tell because he kind of made the out-of-position run there, but Abarca is now running kind of back up top. But what that shows you is when Abarca is playing in the middle of the field, his ability to calm the game down and then hit some of those highly effective kind of big switching balls like he just did, dribble out of pressure, get his head up and hit a switch. When he's not in the midfield, Dowling doesn't have that same consistency and the ability to execute that, which can be critical if you're trying to slow the game down and take control of the action. And so it shows you what Abarca brings to the midfield.
Absolutely. Take a little bit of the sting out and allow us to retain more possession. And, at the moment, the Mustangs have some momentum. They just played another long ball over the top, and once again we saw Hudson Porter come off his line to cut it out. As far as I can remember with this season, this is the most occurrences of him having to come off of his line. We just haven't had to see that too often.
That's right.
So, and he's done well with it, of course, save for the one goal, but it was a tough foot race to get there in time. Still a lot of danger out there with those long balls over the top. Dowling, maybe they can slow this game down a little bit. They need to. They need to stay on the ball and string some passes together. Now,
instead they're under pressure, but Gradell collects nicely, plays it back to Neri. Neri able to get his head up and switch to Abarca. That's all three center midfielders getting a touch on it. Abarca plays one of those aerial long balls with a heavy touch here from Lozano, turns it over. Abarca is able to win the repossession and looks to slow things down. No, he fakes it, drops his shoulder, and turns upfield. Abarca, and there's really no one checking two at that 9 position that really kind of would have been his outlet again. Ricky Fernandez is on Kairos. He plays at 9. Left winger Jonathan Mendez is out for the season with an ACL. And so a different-looking front line for the Maroons tonight. And Coach Sealing, you might have heard the whistle blow. That was a foul against the Maroons. So a free kick for Dallas Center, and look to play the ball down the left-hand side. Can you get to the end of it? That ball was hit a little bit too hard as it rolls out of play, but almost a kind of a quick restart, long ball for the Mustangs, innocently out for a goal kick. Substitution for the Maroons, number 24, Matt Hoover, and number 8, Andrew Schumacher into the game. Making way is number 12, Bayani Neri, and number 3, Owen Sporange. And so you've got Schumacher, who was playing right mid to start the half, took a water break, is now playing left mid. So it shows you Tealing's comfortability with his wingers and the ability to kind of rotate on both sides and keep people fresh. And then Hoover and Neri have been substituting at the 6. That's the deep center midfielder position kind of all night.
Yep.
So Hoover's now back in for Neri as the kind of deep 6 for the Maroons. Both with the ball, playing along.
Yeah, and we lose a very crucial player in Mendez, but the one thing you can say about the Dowling team is it's extremely deep.
It is.
We've got essentially 20 players on the team that can interchange.
And Tealing rotates his roster more than anyone, and it's not really even close.
Oh, yeah.
You'll see a lot of different kind of tinkering with lineups and formations and moving people around. And when teams play Dowling, because Dowling is so talented, they don't go as deep in their rotation. So I know that they're all doing some unusually light substitution patterns, but still the average team against Dowling is maybe rotating 2-3 guys a half, whereas the Maroons might be rotating 7 or 8 guys.
Yeah, I think tonight with DCG, as you said, maybe just a couple players coming in and out. That number 10, who got the goal actually, but that's going to be. It's vitally important for the Maroons with that depth to just carry them deep, hopefully into this postseason. They're really going to need it, especially against this team tonight here. I mean, DCG now probably with their most sustained possession inside of our final third of the second half just now.
Yeah, you just saw McDermott there, had the ball at the corner of the 18, inside the box, albeit in the corner, was able to turn and look to beat a guy off the dribble, which always makes you a little bit nervous if you're cheering for the Maroons as his ability, but his second touch was out for a goal kick. And so the Maroons play it long, and that ball is kind of bouncing back to the defensive line of the Mustangs in their own half, who also try to play it long. But there's not many Mustangs in midfield, and so now Abarca looks to switch it. He does to Lozano. Lozano on the right wing. Lozano's cross is blocked.
Right off the face.
Back to him. Abarca. Abarca looks to switch it. Tons of space. Kind of in between the left back and the left mid. Schumacher just knocks it back to Dominic. And as you mentioned, Ben, Lozano's cross struck a Mustang, and he is now, after taking a few steps, just decided to go down. He's being attended to by the trainer. He'll get substituted. We will take a quick commercial break while he gets the medical attention. You are listening to Dowling Catholic Soccer on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and urgent eye issues. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formal Wear, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formal Wear, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Support for programming comes from Klein Electric, a local family-oriented electrical contractor, a 100% employee-owned company with branches across the Midwest to provide comprehensive electrical services. Klein Electric is able to help with any residential and commercial project. Learn more at kleinelectric.com.
Mercy One is proud to support Iowa Catholic Radio. Mercy One has convenient locations right in your neighborhood. From unexpected illnesses to regular checkups, Mercy One is here for you. Schedule online at mercyone.org.
KWKY Des Moines, K233BT Des Moines, KIHS Adel.
Bringing you back to the action after the commercial break and the injury break here. In the second half of the varsity soccer game, it's Dowling taking on the DCG Mustangs in a tight game. 14 minutes to go. Dowling's up 2-1. The lead was 2-0, Tanner. It's been cut in half here. And now the game's a little dicey in these last 14 minutes.
It's been a fun one, Ben. We've had a good matchup. Dallas Center Grimes visiting the number 2 team in the lower class here, just one level lower than the Maroons. Dowling Catholic scored 3.5 minutes into the first half and had the better of play. The ball was almost exclusively in their attacking half those first 5 minutes, accumulating the goal, which was called back. There was a kind of a light foul call in the box. The goal scorer was deemed to have pushed the opponent out of his way to get on the end of it, and the goal came back. But Dallas Center really kind of struck first, even though the stat sheet didn't score it. And then Dowling settled in, came back, and possessed and attacked nicely in the back half of the first half. Dallas Center is still showing quality at times, and the second half has been tight. It's been competitive, and, the highlight here so far of this half is Dallas Center's first goal. And that says something because the Maroons have conceded, I think, 2 goals all season from open play before tonight.
Yeah.
And so you think about this team scoring through open play. Again, open play means not from a penalty kick. They've conceded, I think, 3 or 4 off penalties. But the third goal of the entire season, they're getting beat that way. So typically a 2-goal lead, it means a lot for the Maroons. But now it's anyone's ball game. There's 12 minutes and 44 seconds left in this half. It's a Dallas Center throw in the right-hand side. We've got a fun one here tonight. Stay tuned for the rest of this one.
Yeah, you kind of, I think the energy, the crowd has sort of settled into a little bit more of a hushed, almost nervous tone from the home crowd. You just want to hang on to this lead as it feels for them, because as soon as DCG got the goal, they've continued to apply pressure. We haven't shown a ton in attack since that goal. We've been giving the ball away a little bit, trying to get, our foot on the game in terms of possession. We've done pretty well with that. But certainly the momentum in DCG's favor. But now we've got an opportunity down.
It's a good ball from Abarca. It's into the box. Grudell turns. Grudell, it falls, and it's cleared. What a good ball from Abarca, playing that long diagonal to switch field, and Lozano able to take a big touch but still get on the end of it and get into the box. Ultimately, Grudell with a beautiful turn inside the 18 and tries to play it across to his teammate. It was intercepted for a clearance, but a nice build up there by the Maroons.
Grudell doing his best back-to-goal striker impression there in the box, and he got a big frame, so he can post up, he can turn. Couldn't quite get the shot off. It was tight defense. DCG comes back the other way, plays a through ball, but into the waiting arms of our goalkeeper Hudson Porter, and now we come back here with the ball. Nice play from Dowling in that last piece. We're going to need a little bit more of that here towards the end of the game. Now we've got some pressure. Last man in defense almost gives the ball away to Josiah Crowder. Running hard. He's got it.
As a center back, he always had it.
He always had it.
Used his body well. He's under a lot of pressure, but clears nicely.
Just wasn't sure if he was even aware that Josiah closed that quickly towards the end there.
It was a bit surprising, and they got the fans out of their seats. It got tighter there than I think he wanted.
And Josiah gets the arms up, trying to pump this crowd up as well.
And it's working for the Maroons. All of the Maroons are off their bench. Again, the Mustang sideline has been seated the entirety of the match, with the exception of the immediate post-goal celebration. Maroons have the energy. We talked about the culture of this team. You heard Spencer Estrada at halftime, Christian Estrada at halftime, talk about the family-like atmosphere, the togetherness, and you see that, and the players on the pitch feed off that energy coming from the sideline. And now they're using it to charge into the 18. The ball's on top of the 18, and ultimately it's cleared out with a big long ball. But, again, the Maroons are starting to be a little bit more attacking here, and it's getting people excited.
Certainly, yeah. That we've seen a little bit of a shift here just in the last few minutes, a little more energy. You look at the entire Maroons bench, as you said, standing the whole time, the whole coaching staff. You've got 4 coaches, essentially the whole game, standing next to each other right at the halfway line, talking to their players, talking to each other, analyzing the game. And it's interesting to see that engagement that we've seen all season. It's a true full team effort. And we've got a couple of subs lining up again as we kind of rotate. It looks like Neri and Smarridge coming back into this game. Now we're under 10 minutes, Tanner. This is when when the rubber meets the road here, it starts to get real interesting. Any bounce of the ball, anything towards the end of this game, can knock this game up here for the Mustangs.
There's a long ball there that bounces out on a header, and so we'll see which way the referees point. It's deemed to be afflicted. So Dallas Center, interestingly, just kind of sends 5 guys long on the set piece, and Les McDermott hit it up there. It didn't amount to anything, as the Dowling Catholic is going to be a good backline aerially. And as you mentioned, Ben, entering the game is 3-12, and making way is 2-24. So that's going to be Hoover and Lozano coming out. And Schumacher is going to switch to the right-hand side. Owen Smaraj is a naturally left-footed player, and so Owen is going to use his left foot. He's going to play almost entirely on the left-hand side, but when Owen takes a break, Coach Cheeling is comfortable moving Schumacher to either end. Schumacher really a speed player more than anything, and this was a nasty tackle for the Mustangs. Although number 11 for Dallas Center does not like the yellow card, I think it deserved. He had really kind of both legs in there, wrapping them some way around Nary's legs. And so a yellow card for number 11 for the Mustangs forces a 5-minute break. There's 8:40 left, so he's going to have to sit for most of the remainder of this game. And unfortunately for the Maroons, re-entering the match is the goal scorer, number 10, the speedster on the right-hand flank. And so while that yellow card does send someone to the sideline, it also brings the goal scorer back into the game.
Yeah, that's someone, number 11, their second leading goal scorer this season. But the one who's got the goal tonight, comes back into the game. And essentially, the Mustangs are just going to have to pump the ball over the top here and try to create something to get this game tied up in the last winning minutes of the ball game. Here's a cross opportunity for Maroons.
Oh, it's across the 6, and it's spinning at the crossbar. Goal! And it's ruled out. It's ruled out for a corner kick.
No goal. Astonishing decision. Is that because it bounced off the top of the crossbar and back in? Or did it go out?
I thought it hit the soccer crossbar. There is a chance it hit the football crossbar.
It was definitely the goal. It was definitely the goal crossbar.
I don't see how this is a corner kick. I'm not sure exactly where this whistle came in. It's the Bruins have a corner. It's going to be a Barca to take it, right-footed outswinger from the right corner. But to be ruled out for a corner kick is strange here, unless it was earlier in the play before the cross. But nothing came, to my recollection, that near the sideline. So goal is not given. Corner kick is. The ball is inside the box. The shot is blocked. Ball's bouncing inside the 18. Nary looks to get to it. Nary doesn't. Still in. This is pinball soccer for the Iowa High School Athletic Association. Played out wide now to Abarca. Henry hits a nice cross in the box, headed out off of the kind of a bing bang, but ultimately caught in the arms of the Dallas Center goalie, who throws it out quickly on the right-hand side. So some action there, Ben. A goal called off. This one was ruled to have, the ball came out of play first. Again, not sure how I was out of play off of Dallas Center, but then came back into the mix for a goal. But those are questions that maybe we'll ask Coach Dillon in the postgame report. Right now, the Dallas Center Mustangs are attacking. A 3-ball from McDermott. A heavy touch from his recipient. A shot goes wide of the post. Put a really good through ball from McDermott on the ground between the center back and right center back. And his touch just took him too far wide. And McDermott, you can see him pointing at his teammates saying, go to goal, go to goal. His touch brought him away from goal, and that ball ended up wide of the near post, never challenging Hudson Porter in net.
Yeah, he kind of lost his angle, and he didn't help with his touch away from goal. I mean, at first it looked on. I mean, the defender was able to get out there and shut it down fairly well. Dangerous moment. That
good recovery to force the touch to be a bit wide. That ball was in a dangerous position. But good recovery. Abarca wins possession in the attacking third. Looks to play a ball. That ball is deflected. It falls, and it's hit towards goal. It's about 6 yards wide. But ambitious little kind of half volley effort from Kopich. Dallas Center looks to play a quick restart. We haven't seen this much, but a very quick. The ball was hardly stopped rolling. Abarca gets stuck in again, and then his second time tonight is being shoved. It's being called for a foul, just shoving the opponent in the back. That's not where you want to concede a foul, Henry Abarca. That you have your players back to you inside his own 18, having to play back to his goalie, and you just have a frustration shove to let them get a free kick to clear it out. So, again, Henry Abarca, we see that from time to time, plays at such high emotional level, can be called for kind of a silly foul, and that was his second silly foul of the night. and that one allowed the Dallas Center Grimes to have a nice clearance play, and now the ball is bouncing around the half-field line.
Yeah, and all that to say, time on the clock left, 5.5 minutes. So we're getting down there, and that's probably why we're starting to see these quick restarts from Dallas Center. The whole crowd is up now, a lot more shouting, a lot more yelling from both sides, both benches, as we get into these critical moments of the final stages of this game here. Now it's DCG, it's McDermott back on the ball. Nice tackle.
Abarca has made several important tackles in the last couple of minutes. McDermott takes the ball off Abarca's feet, and then Abarca just slides him down to prevent the counter. Abarca goes to the sideline with 5:14 to play. Again, this is a 5-minute suspension, so Abarca is likely out for the rest of this game unless there's overtime tonight, which would mean that Dallas Center would have to score. Despite Henry Abarca's importance to this team, I don't think that's a bad yellow card from him. The best player on the other team dispossessed him and was in the center circle and was charging to start a counterattack. You never know what came from that, but now the defense is set. There's 10 people behind the ball for the Maroons. Abarca's night is probably over as he goes into the book and into the bench with 5:14 on the clock. Kick from McDermott. Clears the first line. It's inside the 6, headed out by Foth. Nice header there by 15 for the black team. Now the Mustangs have it. You can hear the fans urging their team on to charge, charge, charge.
Just a clearance from Dowling.
Yeah.
See a lot, but you need that at this point.
Yeah, it is. Getting more physical out here as Kevin Kopich drops his shoulder into the chest of number 14. So on the kind of high press, that ball is out for, and then we'll do a quick restart to McDermott. Down the sideline is McDermott. Looks to play a little cheeky outside the foot through ball, but overhits the pass. A good run there by his teammate, but a slight overhit there by McDermott. And so there is 4.5 minutes left in this game, and we are both standing in the booth. That's how excited this is, Ben. What's going to transpire in the next 4 minutes?
Well, it's something you don't say often, if ever, but I'm saying it. I'm hoping Abarca's night is over, which would mean that this game ends 2-1. But this is scintillating stuff. 4.5 minutes to go. It's a goal kick for Dowling. There's going to be some more chances here in these last few minutes. Dowling needs to stay focused defensively. At this point, pack it in, play defense, clear the ball out, and get this 2-1 victory against the Mustangs here.
With the absence of their leading scorer, Jonathan Mendez, it'll be harder for them to separate from teams, whereas they're going to score fewer goals than they had with him in the lineup. That's just the fact of the math. And so they're going to have to close games out in tight settings like this more frequently than they might have with their goal scorer. And so this is a good test for the mettle of these Maroons in the post-Mendez era. They really haven't had a tight win. They've had 2 tough losses and then 2 blowout victories. And so it'll be important for them going into the state tournament in a couple of weeks to be able to close a tight game out and be victorious at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is certainly a good learning moment for the team, and one of which they can, again, first tight game, first tight potential victory. They've been in the tight games, and we've actually conceded late against the Johnston team. So that could be in the back of their heads as well. Dallas Center Grimes looks to push the envelope, brings the ball over the halfway. It's out for a throw-in. Here at midfield, it's DCG with the throw-in, standing options. Nice little layoff. Good, nicely shut down by Neary. It's all-out defense now. All hands on deck for the Maroons here in the last 3 minutes of the game.
Good turn by 14 for White. Switches the field. In the attacking half of the Mustangs, a long ball from the Mustangs goes nowhere but the goalie. And that's where what you saw there is what the Maroons do so well is when their center backs have time and space inside the attacking half, they don't just clip that ball in hopelessly, hopefully. And the Mustangs there just got a little impatient with all that space, and they said, I'll just give it a shot. And that's what the defense wants you to do there. Good turn by Schumacher in front of his own bench. Beats the player, gets it back. And ultimately, even his speed was inadequate, which is saying something, as the 1-2 there from Kopich. Kopich overhit that 1-2 back, and it rolled out for a throw-in here, Mustangs. 2 and change to play. The Mustangs are getting more desperate. It's a long ball forward by the center back, the left-footed center back for the Mustangs, to Foth. Foth finds Neri. In front of his own bench is Neri. Back to goal. Nicely turned by Bayani. And then just really kind of got into a rhythm and didn't look where he was hitting that ball. It went straight to the right back for the Mustangs, who now play the ball over the top. They're playing much more direct in the last couple minutes of this match as they're running out of time to play much build-up soccer. Still time to have a couple more attacks, but they're playing route one only Maroons ball, right-hand side. Kopich hits a cross.
Oh!
One of those cross shots. A little cross shot by Kopich, and that ball is dangerously wide of the back post as a quick restart for the Mustangs. They look to play out of the back. And McDermott is dispossessed. It's a shot on goal. It's a big save. Josiah Crowder had a chance to ice it. He did so well to take it off and take McDermott's foot, and then was charging in the middle of the goal, in the middle of the 18, and almost looked to meg the keeper as it kind of got caught in goalie's legs. And a big save to keep his team in it. That would have certainly done it as the score is 2-1 with a minute to play. It's boys varsity soccer. Dowling Catholic 2, 1 for Dallas Center. Grimes Mustangs. Dowling Catholic wearing all black, going from left to right. The lights are on. It's a beautiful dark night. A tough call here. The clock is ticking. The Maroons are slow to take this throw in. The Mustangs fans are letting the refs hear it. The Maroons have successfully wasted 30 seconds or almost thereabouts, and good gamesmanship from the Maroons, but I am very upset if I'm the Mustangs. There's 22 seconds left on this clock, and this ball has been on the sideline right in front of the Maroons bench for the last 45 seconds. And they are just, and finally, it's going to be a yellow card for Kopich as he stands in front of the long ball, but they do waste a few seconds in the spirit of it. So he gladly takes a yellow. Molina takes his place. There is 18 seconds on the clock. McDermott is by himself in front of the Mustangs bench. He should 1-2 with his goalie right here and take 20 yards. He's got there's no one within 60 yards of this free kick, and he does a 1-2 to the goalie. Plays it poorly to the goalie, frankly. The best player in this team.
Oh, my goodness.
Interesting decision. And that ball is hit over the top. That's a better ball. Both wins a big header. And the 2-1 game. But why the goalie didn't give it back to Tate McDermott to give the final service remains beyond my comprehension. This service is poorly cleared. And the Maroons, their fans, their parents, their grandparents here on Grandparents' Night at Dowling Catholic High School are all celebrating a hard-fought victory. The Dowling Catholic Maroons 2, Dallas Center Grimes Mustangs 1. We will have post-game report and an interview with a player from the Maroons. Stay tuned after this quick commercial break. You are listening to Dowling Catholic Soccer on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from the Catholic Tuition Organization.